Poems of Narad, From Songs to the Mystic Earth, Volume 1, Part 1. Dedication to Sri Aurobindo and Mother for their priceless gifts to this soul, and to all who have worked with me in the first phases of the Matrimandya Gardens and the years in the Matrimandya Gardens nursery. Though many have already passed on, my gratitude for their dedication to the work of building the gardens, often under the most difficult conditions, is eternal. High Sierras. In the high plateau, down to the sun-drenched plains, the mighty Colorado, rushing wild, surged swiftly on towards its ancient home. Caught in its currents, like a gleeful child, carried on waves of joy to unknown banks, where pebbles glowed like a monarch's rubied crown. My simple life complete, unstrained by thought, unscarred by doubt that clouds the mind's unknown, or a thousandfold desires yet unfilled. I was at peace, and all experience awaited me in the rapturous beats of time, as I played at will in the rivers of innocence. Through skies that whispered of a harmony not yet on earth, but waiting to descend. My soul rose up through limb and leaf and tree. The presence of the redwoods entered me as I walked in forests ageless and immense, and felt beneath my feet Earth's majesty, her unvoiced yearning, subtle and intense, for light's descent and deep tranquility. It seemed the springtime of a life of song, a music hidden in a dream of stars, awoke the sleep-hung soul to long-lost strains. Not yet the pains of growth, the inner wars. In the high Sierras, nature wooed my soul. The moon, my faithful paramour of bliss, and lissom deer, companions of the wood, the grass my bed, the rain my morning's kiss. I traveled far through snow-clad banks of peace, and walked in meadows murmurous with song, to the bare peaks where a dangerous music called, alluring voices of the siren throng. The rugged hills descended to the sea. In groves so dense, the sunlight's weakened rays, like gossamer, appeared, or pale mothlight, in a dim cathedral where all nature prays. In rock-strewn coves, the ocean waters spume, and cypress trees, like tortured limbs of saints, in stoic agony embrace the soil. Relentless winds assail, and nature's plaints rise up from time-worn cliffs, her prayers unheard. Yet she defies the onslaughts of the surge, the storms, the fierceness of the wintry gales, for all obeys the life force's hidden urge, and I, a boundless soul among the flowers, must learn to bloom as they, to joy align. The seconds feel as vast eternal hours. Truth my guide, and love and light my sign. Song of the Young Wren. A tiny wren came to my windowsill and greeted me with cheer. Barely feathered against the early chill, half his weight was joy. His wings not strong enough for sustained flight, a fledgling visitor, he raised his head, a herald of delight, and looked into my eyes, then scratchily began his life's first song, like the scraping of a bow in a young child's hands that cannot hold for long the weight of melody. He sang, improving with each newfound trill the wonder song of earth, his music the expression of a will supreme and glorious. The soul's delight. I have bled upon your thorns, O rose, for the way to your heart is bramble strewn. But then such beauty, I suppose, may be likened to the inconstant moon. I have known you as I have known the thorn and the sweetness of a woman's breath, seen beauty from desire born, and heard her sigh at the time of death. Though winter comes to strip you clean of all but barren thorn and stem, apparelled in your dress of green, spring shall return your diadem. But the eyes of children, fire bright, will see in you the soul's delight. The cradle of the child. There is communion in the fading day, the celebration of an ancient's birth. I watch the bluets rise from mossy beds, mid pungent odors of renascent earth. In the chill sunset hours, on purple hills, or slate-black waters of the mountain streams, I am returned to those ancestral roots, the greening habitat of youthful dreams. The cherries weep with blossoms lightly blown. I am the intimate of stately trees, and lightly step into the vast unknown dimensions of the new theocracies. To a beauty we are called the soul's delight, as a river to the sea is strangely drawn. The cradle of the child now gently rocks, who lights the blazing symbol fires of dawn. I have planted seeds. I have planted seeds when earth and I were young, and prone embraced the clouds and drunk the sky, melded my rhythms to soar with the winged ones, as grew within my signal destiny. Infinitesimal flowers spoke to me of beauty known to sage and saint and seer, And the brown land smiled as I felt her quickened pulse, when spring burst forth the glory of her year. All seasons hold me in their mystic thrall. Days of frost and ice are crystals seen, and snow, the blanket lovingly draped across her body, protector of all the future's green. Long have I watched the pageantry displayed, by gracious hand bestowing on the eye the irised prism of fragrant flower fields and noble trees enrobed in majesty. Remembered visions recall the lupin's blue, and sunflowers turning mile on speechless mile, pebbled gems in the Colorado's flow, the still and silent crane in sunlight's smile. So great a joy held close within the breast, and even now, in destruction's rapid pace, as earth lies wounded by unconscious hands, I see the bluebirds feed a nestling race. What gift of grace to feel in matter's core the healing touch, the divinizing change, awake in our slumber, the force within ourselves. The intensity of love exceeds our range of human understanding, lest we wake to that which drives the sap, invests the clod, the light that moves the moon and stirs the stars, and wakes from matter's trance the living God. Those intimate with earth attune their eyes to the deity's travail in flesh and stone, enveloping with peace unsullied skies to greet the nascent day. We must alone replant the barren landscape of our lives, relearn creation's word, intone the prayer that soul can offer meaning to our quest, and a sacred ground for mother's feet prepare.